Stop, my grandma. Yeah. So these children that are supposedly victims are lying. The other thing we're finding out about, and by the way, they don't even know who these adults are that are lying, saying this is my nephew, my niece. They don't know if they're sex offenders, if they're going to abuse this child. The other thing is a lot of the family members that are already here of these illegals that are on the border right now, they're going to come up here. A lot of them have a parent who already left and came here years ago and is here illegally. So what we're doing is, and you know what? Rush got it right earlier today on WBAP. Obama is acting as the coyote for the illegals. He is smuggling. This sounds ridiculously funny, but it's true. Obama is smuggling these children and allowing these children to be smuggled up to their illegal parents who have been working here, taking American jobs. And guess what else they did? They are the ones who sent the $5,000 to the coyote to smuggle their child up here. It is all a shell game. We are being played. And the whole lie about violence. It's violence in El Salvador, in Guatemala. What was the other country? That's Guatemala, El Salvador, and I can't remember the. I don't know if it's Argentina, but no, it's not. It's Guatemala, El Salvador, and one more, Honduras. Honduras is the other one. So, Chris, you don't understand. Listen to this load of garbage that you got to believe, if you believe them. Chris, you don't understand. All of a sudden, in all three countries at the same time, there was a surge of gang violence. Chris, you wouldn't believe it. Unprecedented. It happened in three countries at the same time. Everybody started threatening everybody, and gangs took over and murders. And so it was just, it happened at the same time. It's never, have you ever seen something like this happen before? Three different countries? I mean, they had transnational cooperation from the gangs all at the same time, harassing millions of families over a swath of three countries. It was like the Islamists, right? And their caliphate. Not. One of the big questions that you and I and many of us have talked about in the past couple days is, where did this all come from? This does not just happen without a plan. Somebody launched this. Somebody began this. Somebody made this happen. And this idea that you here in the Metroplex are now supposed to help these illegals, many of whom who have relatives here who came here illegally are still illegal right here. They spent $5,000 to get their kids shipped up here illegally. Or a parent down in Guatemala or El Salvador or Honduras, some of them sold their kids to the coyotes to be used as a distraction, or saved up $5,000 and sent these kids up here. They spent a total of $240 million to export their children up here. And we're supposed to believe this lie that they're leaving murderers his legal services. He says, well, the girl describes as being awakened in the middle of the night with gunshots. I'm sorry, is she talking about Oak Cliff? Is she talking about South Dallas? Are you telling me that now one of the ways you can come to this country and get amnesty is because you hear gunshots at night? We have people in South Dallas and in the Stop 6 neighborhood of Fort Worth hearing gunshots every night. Or every other night. What a big fat lie. What a big fat lie. It's all a big fat lie. And they think that folks here, that we're not against this, and those people in California are just kooks. Now more than ever, before these illegals come here, is the time to take a stand and to say no. Now more than ever is the time to coalesce and say no, 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 no. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227, 800-288-9227. David and McKinney, you're live on WBAP.
Yes, sir. I'm glad to speak with you today and finally share this story on a broader base, because it's something I've known about for about 2 weeks. But I work with an illegal immigrant at a restaurant in the Metroplex, and I knew that she's been here from El Salvador illegally for about 8 years, and she left 2 sons behind. So when I found out about the immigrants that were coming across in droves illegally, I asked her, I said, so are your sons coming? And she was surprised that I knew, and she asked who told me. So I just told her, you know, I heard that there's a lot of people coming, and I wanted to know if your sons were coming. So she told me, yeah, in fact, they're coming. And, you know, I wondered, I asked her, you know, how is it that they couldn't come before, but now you can have them come over? And she said that previously they wanted $7,000 per person, the Coyotes did, to bring them over. But now she's able to get both of her sons here for only $5,000. And she said the money that she's paying was actually going to Mexican immigration to give them safe passage through Mexico.
Okay, so what you're telling me is an illegal immigrant that you work with who has been here in this country illegally for 8 years, saved up her money to have a coyote smuggle her children up here. Yeah, and even more egregious than that is they're paying the money to the Mexican immigration. There you go. And the best thing in the world is hopefully she and her children will be Barack Obama voters. Exactly. Voters. This is very exciting. But you got to remember, David, this is a humanitarian crisis. Her children are fleeing violence, David. They're fleeing violence. You know, and the worst... Hold on, let me put you on hold. I don't want to rush this. Stand by. Stand by. There's so much more that I haven't even gotten to yet. The lies, the rigging this whole thing, and how you and I can stop this, all that we're going to get into next. Friends are being smuggled in by their own parents who are already here illegally. And they're lying to you about who their family members are and lying to you about that they're fleeing persecution. It's all one big fat lie. And many people appear to be lapping it up. So if that's the case, we'll just keep accepting them. We're getting 1,500 a day that are coming over the border because it's porous, it's not protected. So 1,500 a day, let's just keep doing it. You're right. Let's just say, oh, they're fleeing. Oh, they're scared. Oh, okay. This is now a new way to get amnesty, just to lie and say you're scared, even though your mom's here illegally saving up money to have you here. Listen to Judge Clay Jenkins, because he's stepping it up. He wants your county. If you're not in Dallas County, don't you worry. He wants your county to be next in the Metroplex. He wants your county to step up. Denton, Tarrant, Collin, Hoffman, you listening? Johnson? You listening?
And hopefully by doing that, we can inspire others to step up and take some children. And then together, Texans can partner with the federal government and help end this humanitarian crisis. Whatever you think of immigration, these are little children.
Right.
And Texas doesn't turn its back on children.
See, he's saying the same thing over and over again in different ways to the media. Here's another version of the children.
Well, regardless of what you think about immigration, regardless of what you think about politics, these are children. And in Texas, we take care of children.
Yeah, so if you just show up here and your mom works here, the government has become the coyote. Literally, the government has become the coyote. That's why the coyotes are charging half, because they're not completing the deal. We are. And we're not charging. By the way, Clay Jenkins, as he announced the locations, the three locations, which I'll tell you about if you missed, coming up after the news at the bottom of the hour, he also, guess what also came out in the news today? First, they told us it would be 21 days where the illegals would be housed, the 2,000 that are coming to Dallas County. Now they're saying it's going to be up to 45 days. Oh, they're not even here yet to double. More than double. Whoop. Whoop. Well, you know, if they're here that long, just like Mayor Robert Cluck in Arlington said yesterday, we got to educate them too then. Ooh, this is exciting. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. David and McKinney, your co-worker, is an illegal. She saved up $5,000 to smuggle her two kids in. These are two of the kids supposedly that are here for humanitarian reasons, fleeing when in actuality she just paid a coyote to smuggle them up. I wanted you to be able to finish off what your story was there.
Thank you, Chris. And there were two things about this that really strike me as alarming. And the first was is I know that she's not watching the conservative media that's been sounding the alarm on this. So I wondered to myself, how did you hear that now is the time for you to bring your kids over? And I didn't ask her the question that way, but her response was that they're actually passing literature out in Salvador. And that's how she essentially learned that now's the time, and if you want it to happen, you got to do it now. So that's something that we've been worried about, that literature that is actually being disseminated there, and the question there is, who is it coming from?
That's right.
But the other point is what you pointed out just a moment ago, and Rush pointed out this morning, is that we have become coyotes, or the administration has anyway. They're aiding and abetting these criminals once they cross the border, and they're dispersing them across the country. My guess, so I didn't get all of the story from her, but she told me that she gave her personal information to the coyotes, and once her children get here, they're going to contact her to confirm the kids have a relative, and then they're going to probably bring them to Dallas. So it's like, I would imagine that these kids, her 2 kids, are going to be on this bus coming to Dallas, and then when they're released from the facility, they'll be released into her custody as an illegal
We have
alien.
smuggled her in, and locally they're saying, hey, buy Walmart gift cards for them. So this illegal alien woman who saved up $5,000 to smuggle her 2 kids in, we're going to buy her a Walmart gift card. She gets a bonus for smuggling her kids in.
You know, I love the lady, but, you know, this is a broader problem, and you have to look past the guilt strings that are being pulled and realize how we're being manipulated.
David, I appreciate you calling. I love what you said about you love that lady. We all know people in our lives personally whom we love dearly, but are doing things that are wrong. And that's what this is. Thank you for your call. 800-288-WBAP is our number, John.